Get up when I'm speaking to you, boy. A heavy silence fell over the courtroom, thick enough to choke. The white officer's voice cracked through the chamber, sharp and ugly. Even a stenographer froze. The black man in the mustard yellow suit did not move. His arms were folded, his gaze steady, his calm presence a quiet defiance. Judge Carlisle looked up but said nothing. His pale face betrayed no reaction, as if the insult hadn't echoed across the room. Sheriff Coleridge, PHI, his name tag glinting, stepped forward, his face red. He assaulted me. I stopped this man for reckless driving. He resisted, tried to flee. I sustained injuries. No reports. No video. Only his word. The prosecutor rose. And you're certain this is the man? The officer slammed the stand. I never forget the face of a thug. A collective gasp rippled. Judge Carlisle tapped his gavel without reprimand. Mr. Benjamin 6, you may respond. Benjamin leaned into the microphone. His voice was soft, commanding. Am I to respond to the fabricated charges or the racial slurs? A murmur spread. You are to respond to the sworn testimony, the judge said. Benjamin tilted his head. Interesting. Then allow me a question. You're not an attorney, the prosecutor barked. I know, Benjamin said. But since the officer seems emotionally compromised, I ask for clarity. The judge hesitated, then nodded. Proceed, briefly. Benjamin rose. For the first time, he locked eyes with Officer Dempsey. Calm against fury. You claim I was driving recklessly? That's right. Dempsey snapped. You were swerving, clearly drunk. No test performed, Benjamin noted. No dash cam footage. No backup officer. He turned to the gallery. Yet he found time to file a pristine incident report. And somehow forgot he's under internal investigation for falsifying records. The courtroom froze. What investigation? The prosecutor demanded. Benjamin produced a manila envelope. This sealed audit shows Dempsey's unit has 37% more resistance cases involving black drivers than any other in the county. Objection. Sit down, the judge muttered weakly. Benjamin placed the envelope down. I sat silent while insulted. But no one has asked me who I am, why I wear this suit today. He drew out another envelope, his hand steady. Time you knew who you were really yelling at. Judge Carlisle leaned forward. What is that document? Benjamin broke the seal. Inside was a letter with the Department of Justice seal. His voice was steady. This is my certified appointment as Chief Justice of the State Supreme Court, effective as of last week. The room inhaled at once. The judge blinked. The prosecutor paled. Dempsey's rage curdled into disbelief. I was tasked with a covert review of courtroom bias, Benjamin said. No titles, no cameras, just silence. He turned to Judge Carlisle. You were one of my subjects. This violates, the judge stammered. No, Benjamin cut in. What violates justice is your silence when I was called boy. You failed your robe and your oath. Gasps spread. The bailiff called for order, but none came. Authority now rested in the mustard suit. Benjamin faced Dempsey. You lied under oath. The officer stammered. I didn't. You assumed, Benjamin said coldly. You saw a black man in a nice suit and thought, target. You forgot to do your homework. I clerked for federal judges, drafted policy on racial profiling. And now, I hold your record in my hands. He tossed a file across the prosecutor's table. Complaints, broken body cams, misconduct reports. I did my homework too. The judge rose, trembling. You have no authority. Benjamin stepped closer. At midnight, my appointment took effect. As my first act, I opened a federal investigation into this precinct and this courtroom for systemic racism and corruption. The officer's knees weakened. Two federal agents entered quietly, handing over a drive and thick envelope. Benjamin raised the USB. This audit covers 7 years of Dempsey's activities. 27 complaints from black citizens, all dismissed. It shows GPS logs of dash cams, malfunctioning body cams, and patterns too precise to ignore. This is a smear. Dempsey shouted. This is accountability. Benjamin plugged in the drive. A spreadsheet filled the screen. Rows of stops. One highlighted. June 14th, 2022. Traffic stop. Use of force. Name: Franklin Lamont Monroe. Deceased. A gasp from the gallery. An elderly woman clutched her chest. Benjamin's voice darkened. Stopped for a taillight. Died from exhaustion. But GPS shows your car parked off-route. No footage. No backup. Just silence. The judge muttered, "Overruled," as the prosecutor flailed. Benjamin stepped closer to Dempsey. "You thought that badge made you untouchable, and this bench would protect you. For years, you were right. Until today." The judge's hand shook. Benjamin raised his voice. "Every conviction tied to you will be reopened. Every silence re-examined. Justice will not be delayed." Dempsey collapsed into his chair. Hands trembling, Benjamin's final words fell like a hammer. "Justice delayed is still justice. And it has finally caught you." But he wasn't done. He lifted 2 more files. "Before this court, I submit 2 final exhibits. An anonymous tip from one of your fellow officers and a sworn affidavit from a retired lieutenant, forced out for trying to expose your crimes." The courtroom inhaled again, on the brink of eruption. Yet the truth had only begun to surface. The bailiff handed the affidavit to Judge Carlisle. His hand shook as he read the damning words aloud. "I was told by Judge Leonard Carlisle to clear Officer Dempsey's misconduct report. He said, 'We protect our own.'" Gasps erupted. The prosecutor froze. Officer Dempsey's face drained of color. Benjamin stepped forward. "You didn't just ignore racism. You buried it. You protected it. And you called it justice." The doors burst open. U.S. Marshals entered. One handed Carlisle an order. His face collapsed. "I recuse myself," he stammered, ripping off his robe before stumbling out in disgrace. Benjamin turned to the gallery. "This is no personal victory. Justice must be reforged when broken." A marshal stepped toward Dempsey. "Officer Brandon Dempsey, you are under arrest for falsifying reports, obstruction, perjury, and civil rights violations." The cuffs clicked. Dempsey was dragged out, no longer feared, only broken. Silence followed. Benjamin did not smile. He approached the bench, pausing before lowering himself into the seat. The bailiff's voice rang. "All rise for the Chief Justice of the State Supreme Court." News spread instantly. The courtroom scandal went viral. The judge exposed, the officer arrested. But Benjamin pressed forward. His first order: every conviction tied to Dempsey would be re-examined. Every buried truth uncovered. He turned to the prosecutor. "You will cooperate. If negligence is found, your office will answer for it." The man nodded, sweat dripping. Benjamin faced the families. "To those wronged, the court failed you. I failed you. That ends today." Tears flowed as mothers and fathers finally heard what they had long known. "You were right." He rose, voice firm. "Racism behind robes and badges is the deadliest weapon. Today we broke it." Reporters whispered, "This is a revolution." Benjamin descended, walking not toward the cameras but the people. A boy in the front row stared at him wide-eyed. Benjamin knelt. "What's your name?" "Terrell." "Terrell, remember this. Power isn't the robe or the badge. It's truth, and truth lasts." Benjamin rose and disappeared into the press swarm. "Today is not about me," he declared. "It is about justice." Weeks later, the courtroom stood empty. A new nameplate gleamed. The Honorable Benjamin Six, Chief Justice. Beneath it, a plaque read, "Justice is not blind. It is watching, and it remembers."